ever noticed something strange about panic attacks? The harder people try to calm themselves down, the more frightened they become. The more they tell to themselves, I'm safe, nothing is happening, just breathe. And yet their body refuses to believe them. Why? Because panic isn't just happening in your thoughts. It's happening in the way your entire system is organized. For years, psychology has helped us understand the stories we tell ourselves. But in my work, I became interested in something else. What if every psychological pattern has also a movement pattern? When I began observing people through the lens of movement, I noticed something fascinating. Anxiety has a structure, an algorithm, a geometry. The shoulders rise, the jaw tightens, breathing becomes shallow, attention leaves the body and rushes into the head. It's almost as if the body is trying to escape gravity itself, while it should be doing exactly the opposite. And then I started asking a different question. What if panic isn't only a psychological experience? What if it is also a movement experience algorithm of the body, the algorithm that the body keeps repeating over and over again? That question became one of the foundations of what I call now the psychology of movement. First, we start by mapping the unconscious through the psychoanalytic inquiry and archetypal analysis. We identify the deeper pattern that's organizing the person's experience. Then we design an individualized roadmap, a plan. Not everyone needs the same practice. For one person, it may be tango. For another, it's boxing. For someone, Pilates might work. For another, you might resonate with Kung Fu or yoga. It doesn't matter, truly. The movement is never chosen by chance. It is chosen because it is most likely to reveal the pattern we are trying to understand psychologically, mentally. Then something remarkable happens. Movement becomes a laboratory, not a place to become a better dancer, a stronger athlete, a place where you can finally watch your unconscious in action. Now let's imagine anxiety has taught your body to live with your shoulders lifted, your breath held, your attention trapped into your thoughts. In the laboratory of movements, whatever the practice is, we're not simply asking you to lower your shoulders. We're asking something much deeper. What happens inside you when you let them go? Can you feel what happens? Can you trust the ground beneath your feet? Can you recognize it? Can you stop negotiating with fear long enough to feel your own center again? Long enough to believe that you are the one responsible to build that stability and core. This is where movement becomes psychology, because you're no longer practicing an exercise. You're practicing a new relationship with your own unconscious. And gradually, the body begins teaching the mind something it could never learn through explanation and insight alone. The balance doesn't come from controlling everything. It doesn't come from predicting everything. It doesn't come from knowing everything. It comes from discovering an inner access that was there all along, and from discovering that you are able to build that access. Maybe that's why healing doesn't always begin with a new thought. Maybe it begins with one specific movement experienced differently.